Well, hello and welcome back to Alpha Technics. This is the fourth episode in this DIY build of my 1972 Alfa Romeo GTV. In this episode, I'm going to be going through the process of how to install the radiator surround the front of this car.
Let's just wind back time here to see what it looked like before. So we had a big rusty mess above the anti-roll bar, and the anti-roll bar itself bracket was completely corroded. So anyway, we're here now removing the remaining parts of the radiator surround. This is what it takes to prepare the bodywork for the repair work that's going to be undertaken.
You'll see we have a piece of metal that's missing in here. This is the anti-roll bar bracket on the left-hand side, on the passenger side of the car. Cut out all the bad material that was rusted away on the inside here. We have some surgery to do. I'm going to show you how to weld in this unusual piece of metal. This is 2mm thick steel. Just going to go into somewhere like this. And we're going to put in some welds along here using the MIG welder and tidying it all up. So follow me in the process now.
These first tacks go in using the MIG welder to hold this piece of steel in place. I ought to just mention that the anti-roll bar bracket was previously welded into place, which then allowed this fillet to be installed in the correct location.
I've reached the point now on the passenger side where I've welded in an inner skin on the inside here. I did this by measuring up a piece of 2mm thick metal before I put the anti-roll bar bracket in, and drilled some holes. I made the piece oversized so it overlapped along here and down here, and then drilled holes in the piece, in the actual fillet piece, and welded in from the back side into here, and then put some welds along the bottom. So this is a sort of, call it an inner skin. And now I'm going to build this outer skin along here. I'm going to use some masking tape to allow me to take a template of this shape here. Hold it here. One more piece there. Another piece there. I now get a pen. I have that profile of that metal in there now, and draw that edge on there, coming up here as well. So when I transfer this masking tape onto the steel, I will know where to cut. I'm going to be creating it out of one piece, so this will be one section, and I'll add more metal here when I actually come to cut the final piece out of the steel, and add this section of material in. So I'll come up here and I'll add a bit on here, bending it right at 90 degrees. I will also create a flap, so I'll be able to weld here, 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 and again, perhaps at the bottom, I'll add an additional weld flap, so I can go here and here. And here's our masking tape. Put that there. I've now got my basic shape on the cardboard template. I did do another one. I just draw around the edge of it. I'm going to add in my flap at the bottom. Along here. Just a basic shape. I'll make it oversized and then I will then sort of fettle it and cut it out with these tin snips. Now the progress so far on these two chassis points, and these are the 2 points that are going to mount the front valance on. These are my reference points. These haven't changed all throughout this project, so these are my 2 reference points. I've welded up, put in some patches in here, 2mm thick, 0.75mm thick steel on both sides. We've put the brackets in, put the anti-roll brackets on both sides. This is the anti-roll bar in place. So we've got to this point now where now we can begin to offer up the radiator surround. Of course this needs to go a little bit higher, but I've removed now the rusted out edge. This is the top edge here, the original piece of the car. Just ground out this plate here. This is the top of the radiator surround. It is fairly rusty on the underside of it. I'm just going to remove it. So with that piece now removed, you can see now this is the remaining. This is just surface rust. This will clean up, but I'm going to keep this on here. So these are the brackets I'm going to keep here. I'm going to weld in the new surround here and down along the other side and down all the way into there. But now I'm going to clean this up, take it back to nice bright metal, and then treat it with a primer. You can see here, this is the piece that I just removed from the existing surround. It's the top support that goes across the top. I've decided to keep these brackets here that bolt onto the hinges of the bonnet. Now these are thicker metal around here. This is quite thin metal. This is a single piece. This is a thicker piece here, 2mm thick. This is about 1mm thick. So I'm going to keep this on the car. So I'm going to cut it out of here, there, and there, and then weld a seam weld around there and here when I put this radiator surround in the car. I'm now going to mark where my cut's going to be, because I'm going to keep the existing mounts for the brackets that will hold on the bonnet. So I'm going to go in here, down there, around, and somewhere like that. Might chop off more. I'm going to use the same profile as what's there. And then I go on this side, come down this side of the bracket, and then go out somewhere like that. There's return edges on here that allow me to weld, spot weld on seam weld into the plates that I've made up. I may have to adjust those, tap them out further. So I'm now going to cut these out and then begin to offer it up and tack it into place. Up to now in this episode, you've seen me working on the inside of this panel in here. I've now put a flash of paint on there. Both sides are now ready to put the radiator surround on. I've cut out what metal I'm going to keep. So I've cut out the brackets on the new radiator surround, and I'm going to be refitting this somewhere like there. I'll tack weld it in, see if the fit's right, and then offer up the valance, and then we'll finish off with welding the rest of this in, but making sure there's clearance underneath where the bolt attaches the anti-roll bar on both sides. And then again I shall weld across here and down here. It's a good fit for now. There might be some other little bit of fettling to do as well, but I'm happy for this to go in now. Let's do it. I just set up the valance there, just pushed it into place, lined up my holes, my reference points again, double checking any clearances. We're okay on there and we're okay on here. So with that now tacked up, I'm happy to go ahead and weld the rest of the surround in. Might even drop the radiator in to see what it looks like with it in place. But we'll call that an episode, and hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe. And next time we might be putting this on. See you next time.